What up, y'all? This is your boy. Today, as you can see, we got the bobber out. We've had this bobber for a while. It had its problems. First, the battery. Then we built a new battery. Then the controller was getting hot because it was in a little oven. So we had to move that. It's fun. It's fast. We got some good mid-range torque, really good mid-range torque, and some decent low-end torque. But see, that's where the problem comes in. I want better low-end torque. A decent low-end torque is not enough. And this is something I've been thinking about doing for quite some time. And what is that? It's giving it a bigger sprocket. And if we were to look back here, the sprocket that I gave this bike is a 38 tooth sprocket in the rear. We're sitting on a 14 tooth sprocket in the front. This is a 45 tooth sprocket. Now, I'm not too good with calculating ratios and all that shit. All I know is this is 7 teeth more. I have a feeling it's gonna give this bike quite a bit more torque with this sprocket here. It might make the bike a bit slower, but I just want to play around with it. I think it's gonna be a bit fun. And for all I know, maybe this motor can't quite get to its top speed or its fastest RPM due to the small gear ratio and this being a heavy bike, you know, heavy wheels. I kind of doubt it because this is a very strong motor, but you never know. So I guess we're gonna find out. But first, we have to install the sprocket in order to find out. So let's get to it. After 20 years and a lot of hand pain, yeah, pretty much this unused side of the chain had this link on, this used side of the chain had this link on, and I had to put them together at the same time. As you could imagine, it was extremely difficult and very painful. Look at my hands. It's done. Sprocket has been installed. Only got one major problem. The clearance issue just got worse, which is no longer a problem because it has now been fixed. It is the next morning and we made the gap bigger. It turns out all I needed to do was add one extra link and I was able to extend it all the way back. I can even go a little further, but I don't know if it's necessary, but I do like to keep a little bit of slack in my chain. All right, so we're now riding. Now I'm not gonna lie, when I put the sprocket on, that was about like 2, maybe 3 days ago. So I have had some time to play with this off camera. But we're out here now, and with that little bit of testing off camera, I'm a little surprised because, well, I am surprised, but I'm not. I've seen some odd performance. What I mean by that is, obviously the bike's gonna be quicker with the bigger sprocket. It's a bigger sprocket in the back, same sprocket in the front. But what's weird is the bike might actually be faster, as fast or faster. But I feel like it might not be that weird simply because I had an idea of maybe the bike will be faster with a bigger sprocket because maybe the small sprocket is not allowing the motor to fully get up to speed. The motor's powerful and it gets the bike going, but it's just a little too much weight still, some heavy wheels. So I was thinking there's a possibility that this bigger sprocket will get it going quicker and allowing it to get to its top speed. So with that being said, off camera, I got up to 72. So again, I would like to test the top speed again, but this unbalanced wheel, I don't know what the hell's going on with it. If I'm being honest, the back wheel doesn't seem so bad anymore. Ever since I added the rear wheel weights, it still can be a little shaky, but it's not bad. So now it seems like my front wheel is unbalanced. It's like, what the hell? Look at this shit. Y'all see that? My front tire has got to be unbalanced, because why am I bouncing this hard? I'm hoping I just need to simply fill it up and it'll be smooth again. Yeah, see, gear 1 is definitely quicker. In a minute though, performance might get affected by this shaky ass wheel. We're gonna switch it up to gear 2. Show you how quick gear 2 is. See that bouncy ass wheel? Bigger sprocket, we're still almost hitting 50. Sheesh, just went down here. 48. So as y'all can see, with a shaky ass wheel at gear 1 with a bigger sprocket, a 45 tooth sprocket compared to our original 38 tooth sprocket, you still get a pretty good top speed. So now it's gonna get really rumbly, but we're taking it up to gear 2. Barely giving any gas. It's got a good start. We hit it, and man, it pulls. It almost pulls like gear 3 did with the 38 tooth sprocket. Why is my tire so much smoother now? It's weird. I don't understand what's shaking, because now my tire's smooth. I'm on these roads all the time, so I know it's not the roads. 60 miles per hour. Woo-wee! 64. Holy shit. You know what? I might be driving not so much against the wind, so we're going to turn up to gear 3, and it's a possibility that we can get a better top speed going this side of the road. Okay, here we go. I feel like I'm gonna slide off my seat, and it's getting rumbly again. 65. I know we can faster than that. Come on, 71, baby. Already. 74. Sheesh. I'm not fully on the throttle. Oh my God, 77. Holy shit. Well, that proves a fucking point. Check this out. Check this out. I did 71, and I felt I had a little more throttle left. I was a little scared to hit it. As y'all can see me probably doing this. Every time I speed off on this bike, I always feel like when I sit on this bike, I'm at the end of my seat. So when I speed off, it feels like I'm gonna slide off my seat. I'm probably not, but because I guess my butt isn't fully on the seat, it feels like I'm gonna slide off. I scoot up, started speeding, 71. I'm not fully on the throttle, but I'm trying to make sure there's no stop sign. And this is feeling fast as fuck. I'm trying to make sure I'm not gonna get fucked up. I try to hit it some more. We boost up to 77. I honestly think, and I almost feel like I have to try that again. I almost think that I could have gotten up to 80 miles per hour. Holy shit, this is amazing. I almost wish I never bought the fucking 38 tooth sprocket. That little thing, that's cool. Here we go, tucked in. Try not to be scared on this throttle. I'm wobbling. 78, 79. Holy shit. 80. Woo! You. Oh, I need better brakes. That is dangerous to be. Go ahead, go ahead, go ahead. You got it, you got it. All right. I'm not gonna do that anymore. I honestly think that I could have possibly done up to 81, 82. But holy shit. So what we're gonna do now is I know what I want to say, but that's fucking crazy. And I have to say it. I absolutely have to say it. Once again, right next to my parents, with the original 38 tooth sprocket in the rear, driving next to my parents, speeding, doing 73 on this app, their car saying 76. If the actual speed is 3 miles per hour faster than what this is telling me, There's a possibility that I just hit 83 miles per hour. And there's a possibility that I could possibly hit like 88, 89, because I feel like it still had a tad bit more. Not a whole bunch more, but just a little bit more. Holy shit. Once again, I'm probably not gonna go any big on the Sprocket, especially if, for all I know, this higher gear ratio is helping out the motor and controller, which I'm sure it is, because just the gear ratio alone makes it easier to spin this heavy ass tire back here and move this heavy ass bike. But if the heat is good and better on the controller, we're quicker, we're faster, I probably definitely won't care to go anymore. And it seems like we're even more efficient, which makes sense, but I'm going to explain anyways. So usually with the 38 tooth sprocket in the back, I do about 20 miles and have 50% battery left, about 48 to 51%. Just recently I was riding around, I did 20 miles. I was wondering, how much battery do I have left? Because I wanted to continue riding. I had 72% left. So we had about 22 to 24% more battery left with the bigger 45 tooth sprocket in the rear. But once again, it makes sense because with the 38 tooth sprocket, it took the bike a lot more battery power, motor power, heat, stress to get the bike going. It was probably using peak amps for longer. Where now that we have this shorter gearing, more torque, it gets off the line faster with less stress without having to use more battery and motor power. It just gets it from the gearing alone. That's amazing. So it turns out, which I didn't know, I'm being limited by my sprocket, and it turns out that my theory was correct. Because I don't know, I didn't feel like I was being limited. What was kind of surprising to me is that some people with gigantic ass sprockets, like 11 tooth sprocket in the front and a 70 tooth sprocket on the back. Somebody had that on their dirt bike, was still able to hit 60. I'm like, that is an insane gear ratio. The torque has to be like frightening good, frighteningly fast, and you're still getting 60? Sheesh. So for me to have the smallest sprocket, I kind of did feel like, I'm surprised I'm not faster than 73, or according to my parents' car, 76. I always say that because, I don't know, man, that 76 sounds good. And I mean, they're in the car, so I'm thinking it's a little more accurate than this Android phone app. So I have the theory, I'm like, you know, if there's a possibility my motor's being limited, and to have my controller overheating. Now, a lot of people that have this controller, the controller that I have, the Votol EM260, or they get their kits from Electro & Co, where they tune the Votol EM260 with these QS138 motors. They never talk about having heat issues. Now, they could be in areas or cities, states that are cooler than mine, like New York or some shit, you know. It's a lot cooler down here. It's a lot cooler than it is down here. But there's somebody I come across that does dirt bike builds, and they're in Arizona. And Arizona is typically as hot or hotter than Nevada. And he's never complained about having heat issues. So I'm thinking, do I have a bad tune? There might still be that possibility that every electric component, the battery, motor, controller, had to do a little more to get this bike going due to the, you know, smaller sprocket. It has to push those peak amps for longer, and that probably heats things up more. Now, I'm not gonna test temps today. I don't want that to be today's main focus. And this is still at 290 peak amps, mind y'all. This isn't at this controller's max 350, which is another setting that a lot of people push on this controller and still don't have heat issues, like the guy in Arizona with the dirt bikes. You push in 350 amps to this controller, and you're not overheating in Arizona during summer, like 110 plus degrees out there. I know it's some hot, 100 plus degrees, and I'm overheating. Like, come on. Maybe it's my tune, maybe it's my gearing. I'm gonna say it again. There's a possibility we got better temps now that we have a better gear ratio that allows this motor to spin this heavy ass bike up these heavy ass wheels up better. It should be less heat on the controller since it's easier to get this bike going. We're quicker, we're faster. Holy fucking shit. Once again, I almost feel like almost wish I didn't waste any money on buying the smaller sprocket if I would have known that I needed a bigger sprocket. Now, a lot of you might say, well, you should have known you need a bigger sprocket because of the kV rating and the watt rating and how the motor works. It's more of a torquey motor, yada, yada, yada. Well, I'm still new to this, a lot of this stuff. So if I did see that stuff and just didn't pay it attention, it's probably because I just didn't quite fully know what I was looking at or understand what I was reading. Still very new to this stuff, so honestly, with the electric components, motors, batteries, controllers, all of it combined, I still got a lot to learn. But holy fucking shit, I did that 72. That's a big ass dog. I did the 72 miles per hour thinking, oh man, I might be able to get up to like 75, 76. I might be the same speed, a little faster. I knew that it would be a little faster, but I was unsure of how much faster. But to see that we're that much faster is incredible. And I still think it has a little bit left in it, just a little bit. Nothing crazy. I mean, maybe we can get extra 3 miles. If we could get extra 3, maybe 4 miles per hour, then this bike would hit 90. Because once again, this speed app is 3 miles per hour off, and it's actually showing me 3 miles per hour slower than what I'm actually doing. We did 80, and if this can get up to about 83 on this app, and that's actually 86, oh man, we're close to 90. We can almost do 90 miles per hour. So one last test, because this video wasn't meant to be super long. Just want to show you all the little upgrades I did this bike, which is funny because it's the Sprocket that came with the hub I had to buy separately for this rear wheel. So I could have been using the Sprocket. But anyways, I hope y'all enjoyed that one right there. It's been a nice little video. Probably not that little. I always try to make these little and they're not that little. But anyways, it's been a nice little video with the new Sprocket update. Just letting y'all know the Sprocket change we got going on this bike. And now, as we can see, holy hell, this bike performs even better. More torque, more speed. Love it. And I'm still only at 290 amps. I can still turn this up to 350 if I decide to, but I'll see. I'm gonna have to check some temps because it is getting hotter. We're about to hit them 90s. I actually think it's 90 degrees right now. It just doesn't feel like it because it's breezy out here. But if y'all enjoyed that, go ahead, like, comment, subscribe. It has been check out the rest of my videos. I do e-bikes. Stay tuned for more, and I'm out. Peace.